In this part of the lesson, we're going to look at whole number multiplication. But before I move on, I want to explain a couple things to you about multiplication. Multiplication is just simply taking a number a certain number of times to actually get an answer. And that is not going to make sense. So let's just simply look at this. If I have 2 and I multiply it by 3, what you should understand by this is I have 2 3 times. It means I have 2 items 3 times. Right away you can see that the answer for it is 6. If I draw a box around it properly, you can actually see that the box will be 3 high, 2 wide. This is how we actually came up with 2 times 3 equals 6. So that you don't have to keep doing this over and over and over, we decided that the multiplication tables would help us count faster. When you look at this on a number line, like we did for subtraction, we would notice that if I start from 0 here, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up, when I do a multiplication, all I am saying is how do I jump from one to the next. So let's say we start at 0, we count 2, 1, 2. Then we count 2 again, we get 1, 2. Then we count 2 again, 1, 2. Notice where we end up at 6. Notice how many times we counted 2. We counted 2 3 times. This is what multiplication is. And when you go further on in maths, you would see that all we are really doing is simply taking this little rule that we are using here and applying it to something else. So let's look at the first multiplication example that I have. We have 37s, which says 3 10s, 7 1s here. 1s, 10s, multiplying by 23, which is 2 10s, 3 1s. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the 10s and the 1s that I have down here so that I can actually multiply it easier. Now 20 plus 3 is what I will end up getting. 20 plus 3 is what I will end up getting that answer from. Alright, but let me just switch it around. Now the reason I switch it around, most people tend to be using this way. They start from the 3s first and then they go to the 10s. Sorry, the 1s first and then they go to the 10s. So let's look at this one here now. Alright, I have 3s. I have 7 1s here. I have 7 1s and then multiplying that by 3 1s. In other words, I have 7 1s 3 times. 7 1s 3 times is simply equal to 21. Now 21 is 2 10s, 1 1. So I put the 1 from here over here. Next I have 3 10s multiplying by 3 1s, which will give me 3 by 3 is 9. 3 times is 9, but since it's 10, it will be 90. I simply have to add this 90 and the 2 that I have here, and I will get 92. Since I have no further numbers, I can put that down, 92. Notice where I put the 90. It's in the hundreds column that I now have. Now, what I do is I go to the 20s section. The 20s section is over here. In this 20s section, I am going to first add a 0 here. Why? Because whatever the number is when I'm finished multiplying it, it would end in 0 since it's 10s. So I put the 0 down here. Then I say 7 2 times will be equal to 14. I take the 4 and I put it over here because it represents 4 10s and 100 since I am starting from the tens part when I am multiplying. So the 4 goes here. 3 by 2 will be equal to 6. and I will take that 6 and add it to the 1 that I have over here. 6 and 1 will be equal to 700, and I put that here. Now originally, as I said, the numbers 23 comes from simply adding 20 plus 3. So when I get the result of taking 37, multiplying it by 3, and I have the result of 37 multiplying it by 20, I simply have to add it. And when I add it, I will get 1 plus 0, which is 1, 2 and 4, which is 6, and then 9 plus 7, which is 16. And I get the total answer, 1,661. Now, I am going to do the remainder of them fairly quickly. And the reason I'm doing the remainder of them fairly quickly, it's because what you need to learn how to do after is use a calculator to multiply them. When you have large values, you don't go and manually do these out. You work these out with a calculator. Alright? If you're pressing it out on the calculator, you're just simply going to type in a 2, a 4, a 1, the multiplication symbol, then you're going to type in a 5 and a 2. So I'm just going to go through the operations as I did there previously so that you can see exactly how to do it manually, so that later on you won't have a problem with it. So I'm taking the 1 multiplied by 2, put it here, that's 2. 4 by 2 is 8, I put that here. 2 by 2, which is 4, I put that here. I have 1 by 5. I have to first put the 0 since it's a tens I'm multiplying by. This is the 2's values that I have. This will be the 50 values that I have. Remember, it's 2 plus 50. Now when I take 1 by 5, I get 5. When I take 4, let me change the color. So I'm putting the 0. When I have the 1 by the 5, I get 5. When I have the 4 by the 5, I get 20. So I have to put that here. Take the 0 and put it here, because I would have here, this will turn out to be hundreds. This one will turn out to be thousands. I have the 2 now by the 5, which turns out to be 10. And I'm going to add the 2,000 since this here is 10,000s. So 2 and 10 here turns out to be 12. And I put my 12 down here. When I sum them together, I will have 2, 5 and 8 is 13. Put the 3. The 1 remains on the outside, and I add that over to the 4 part here. 4 and 1 is 5. Then I have 2. Then I have 1. If it is that you take a calculator and you type in these values, the answer you should get is 12532. Let's work on the next one now. I have 4 by 9. 9 by 4 will give us the answer of 36. I put my 6 over here. Now remember, again, this results from a 9 and 10 here, like this together. So now we go 1 by 9 is 9 plus 3 is equal to 12. Put the 2. 9 9 is 81 plus 1 is equal to 82. Plus 2 here. 9 by 3 is 27 plus 8 will be equal to 35. So I put the 35 here. Then I will go in the tens part. I will first add my 0, and 4 by 1 will be 4, 1 by 1 will be 1, 1 by 9 will be 9, and 1 by 3 will be 3. I simply add them together now, and I will get the answer, which is 6, 6, 3, 4. This is 14. I'm carrying a 1 over. And I will get the answer of 1 plus 3 is 7. So if I take my calculator and I multiply 3914 by 19, I would be able to get 74,366.